Hi, my name is Taras Makar, and today we are going to create this type of animation. All we need is Cinema 4D. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2023 version, or at least a version where they introduced scene nodes, nodes for creating geometry. And we are also going to need RedShift for rendering. And that's basically all you need for creating this animation. So we create a new scene and we need to create two objects. The first one will be cube and the second one will be tube. In order to avoid some confusion, because cube and tube sound super the same, we rename cube in a frame. So the main idea to make our frame, our cube, to respond to changing in direction or rotation of our tube in such a way that it would always, our tube would always fit ideally in this frame. So how do we do it? The best option to do it is actually super easy. We need to create a node that is called match size. We create this object and we make it a child of our frame. So in that way, match size will change the size of our cube or its position in according to another object. So we take match size, go to inputs and object link, we drag here our tube, and now we need to activate what we want our match size to do. So we can activate, for example, position X, and let me demonstrate what does it do. For example, if I put max, it takes the maximum value of our cube. In this particular object, it would be its right polygon, and it matches it to the center of our tube. For example, if I put here min, I mean minimal, it would take the maximum of cube on this side and will put it to the minimum of tube on this side. What does it mean, minimum and maximum? We have x-axis here, this red line, and everything that is for the right side of our center of our composition, it would be plus, and here will be minus. So here would be positive numbers and here would be negative numbers. So this part is positive, it means that it's maximum, and this part is negative, it means that this is minimum. For example, we can put minimum to minimum, and our cube will be situated this minimum side on our left part of our tube. And if we take our tube and we will rotate it, you can see that our frame changes its position a little bit. And for example, if we move our tube, it would always stay in this position. Let's change it again to maximum, and we can see here that when we change tube, our frame would always stay here. So what do we need to do next? Because it's not quite the result we are looking for. We need to activate X and Y and Z axis. Here we also put center and center, and in that way, whenever we move our cube will always follow it. But except that, we need to activate our scale, and here we need to uncheck uniform. So let's take our frame, render text and put display. Here we activate use, and here we choose lines, so we could see our tube inside better. And now when we activate scale and uncheck uniform, when we rotate our cube will always be the same size as a tube. So in that way it would respond perfectly for any changes in rotation or size or position of our main object. So, and that's basically all you need to do to achieve that effect, and now we can go to rendering and texturing our objects. So let's create background, put it a little lower, scale it, maybe let's increase depth. And we need to animate our tube. You could spend a little bit more time on making animation pretty nice. I would make everything in this tutorial super simple, so I wouldn't waste your time. I just put keyframes at start and the end, so it would be looped animation. Maybe here let's change it so our cube would rotate a little bit more and we would see better how our frame responds to changing the rotation. Maybe we will change so something like this. And also I would animate height of our tube. So I put the same keyframes at the beginning and at the end. And of course you should spend definitely much more time in making this animation much prettier than I have in this case. So, well, basically basic animation is completed, and let's change a little bit geometry. We would add 64 segments for our tube, and I think we can start texturing our objects. So let's create camera. We'll center it so it would, yes, I guess that's okay. I would put 100 focal lengths. So let's move it a little bit back. And now let's create materials for our objects. So this would be background. I copy it with while holding control. That would be our frame, and that would be our tube. So background, frame and tube. Let's create dome light. And in dome light, let's add HDRI map. So I use Christmas Photo Studio 05. You can find it on the website Polyheaven. So you go to Polyheaven, Assets, HDRIs, and here in Studio folder you can find it here, Christmas Photo Studio 05. But of course it's the one I use. You could use anything, any HDRI map you like, so it would be completely your project. Now I added HDRI map. I would increase exposure to 1, so it would be much brighter. And now I choose background material, and I would make it a little bit brighter, put here 65%, maybe a little less, maybe 55, and here I would decrease roughness to 0.1. Next, let's choose our frame, and basically it would be the main thing texturing wise in this tutorial. Yeah, but before that, let's create area light, rotate it 90 degrees. And we will put it above our cube, and we will decrease intensity to something like 5. Now let's go to our frame material. We could turn off our color, we won't need that, but we will need transmission. So let's turn on transmission, and now you can see we have completely transparent cube. Let's change a little bit options in our transmission. So in extra roughness we would put 0.1, so our glass would be a little bit more rough, and we would add a dispersion. You could easily try different options. For example, if you put 0.1, it would be like super colorful. If you put 1, it would add some dispersion, but not so much. So I put 0.75, and for me it was the ideal option. And besides that, let's change scatter color, for example to 35, and we would add depth. So in order to make this glass like not completely transparent, so it would have a little bit different look, so the higher number we would get, the more clear the glass would be. So it's up to you how dirty you want your glass to be. And if here we would put higher number, for example 65%, you could see that it looks a little bit more dirty. So it's the look I liked. So this is the numbers I put here for a glass. And now let's go to the tube. Of course, it looks pretty interesting right now. Yeah, a little detail. Let's add fillet in our tube. Radius, let's put 10 centimeters, and we could also add some segments, so it would be pretty smooth. And yeah, you could experiment with material. For example, if you put white, it also looks pretty interesting. But in my case, I made it completely black. And besides that, I turned off completely the reflection. So in that way, we have, you can see it now. But when you will be rendering, you would have these interesting color effects on the end of our tube. Yeah, and another thing that we need to do, if we would look on our objects, we can see that cube, it touches our that frame touches our tube, and that's not exactly what we want. We want to have a little bit of separation here, and we can achieve it by adding by changing X, Y, and Z scale. For example, I could put here 103%, and now cube is a little bit bigger than our main object. So let's change everywhere to 103. And now our objects won't touch, but here we won't see it because it would look like cube is touching the object. Oh yeah, my mistake. Why we can't see any aberration here is because we need to add fillet to our cube. So yeah, let's add segments and maybe make it a little bit bigger. And in that way the light inside the cube will disperse in a little bit different way, and now you can see like these colorful lines around our main object. And so yes, that's basically the main animation. Of course, you need to work a little bit more on rotation of our tube, so it would look much more interesting to the eye, but in all other aspects, that's how I did this animation. You are more than welcome to share your results with me. I would be super happy to see what you created. And last little tip, you can easily change objects here, but to make it a little bit more convenient, let's create connect object and put tube inside connect object. And here in match size, we would change object link from tube to connect. And for example, here, now you can even put several objects. For example, let's create torus. And our cube now contains 2 objects. And yeah, you can experiment. You can create much more complex animation with 2 objects inside. Yeah, or you can just delete one object and our cube will always respond to the size and position of the object that is inside our connect. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to send your results and share it. I would be super happy to see it. Bye!